15 years, blowing the doors off the competition. Podcasting to planet Earth.
PNRnetworks.com.
Tell me a story.
No, it's late. Go to bed. Santa will be here soon.
No, I want a story. Please.
All right. You want a happy story? Or do you want a scary story?
I want a happy, scary story.
Once upon a time, there lived a man by the name of Jack Frost.
Jack Frost?
That's right. Like in the song, Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Only this guy did it for real.
Cavebabble. Hello and welcome to Cavebabble episode 287. This week's episode, Jack Frost nipping off your nose.
And it is. The storm is going to nip off our noses.
That's right.
If we're not careful.
This episode is brought to you by all the blow dryers.
Do you have one?
Yes.
We have
Do you
one.
have one? Does everyone call them that?
Good question.
I don't know. Hi, everyone. This is Eric.
This is Valerie.
Welcome to our little bitty podcast. The podcast that could.
'Cause it's a podcast that never ends.
You know what I have?
'Cause it goes on and on, my friends.
Jack Frost nipping off your nose. I could have done Jack Frost roasting on an open fire. Isn't that how that song goes?
That's right. That's exactly how it goes.
Chestnuts. Is that what I call them? Knots?
Chestnuts.
Chestnuts. Yeah, right. Nipping off your nose. Yeah.
It's about that bad.
Yeah, it's Jack Frost, but it's not that Jack Frost, which we've not watched. Do you know the other Jack Frost movie?
No.
Where
I have seen a Jack Frost, a more family version. This is not a family version.
Oh, the Jack Frost that is the family version I'm talking about is Michael Keaton, whose spirit comes back in a snowman.
Oh,
and it's called Jack Frost.
Okay, I'm talking about the stop motion Jack Frost.
I want to be a dent. Oh, wait, that's not from that, is it?
That's not that. That's Rudolph.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be a dentist in Jack Frost. Oh, you're just talking about an animated Jack Frost?
Yes, like I said, a regular Christmas family movie, Jack Frost.
Okay. So here it is, snowpocalypse here. Actually, no, it's not snowpocalypse. They weren't expecting a bunch of snow. It's the wind chill.
Correct. It's the cold. And I guess in the northeastern part of the United States, they're actually calling for a potential, sudden freeze? A sudden freeze event.
I think it's just like Day After Tomorrow where things instantly freeze when the wind hits it. It just...
Yeah, except now it's today.
And helicopters fall out of the sky. I think that's how it works.
That's how cold it's going to be. Yeah.
It is the 22nd of November, 2022, as we record.
But the reason why the helicopters fall out of the sky is not because the helicopters malfunction. It's probably the people within them freeze and the gas freeze and the oil freezes. And
yeah, I'm trying to think. I think in that movie, did they just... Yeah, the people froze.
Yeah, they froze instantly.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think if there was... No, frost went across the windshields and everything, so...
Yep.
Which would happen.
Yeah,
but there is no wind chill for inanimate objects.
Correct.
Yeah, right. Wind chill with Cavebabble. Everything you want to know about wind chill. So anyway, we watched a movie. And this one is more related to the holiday than our last film.
Yep.
Yeah, we promise. This one does have something to do with Christmas just because it takes place at Christmas time. Have you all seen this movie? Jack Frost. You should go see it right now before you listen to us.
We better tell them which Jack Frost it is so they watch the right one.
No, not at all. I'm not going to do that. What are we talking about? 1997, even though it was made in 96.
Released in 97.
Yeah. Jack Frost.
One cold night, science and evil collide. just frozen over. Jack Frost.
Look, Ma! I'm a Picasso!
Directed by Michael Cooney.
Michael Cooney. He was born in 1967 in London, England, UK.
Oh, what else do you know about Michael Cooney?
There's not much on him.
You know what he has directed?
He has directed a few things.
Jack Frost and Jack Frost 2. And some episodes of Center Stage, a TV series. But he also was the writer on The Eye Inside and Identity, Murder in Mind, Six Souls. He has some writing credits. So at this point, he is more known for his writing credits. I think he actually has some more famous ones than that even, and I can't remember what they are. Someone who has a podcast should probably have that in their notes.
Probably should.
But he's not known for his directing, and I cannot imagine why. Can you?
No, I can't.
I can't think of anything.
I guess if he does a bunch of campy horror flicks, yeah. He needs to cut his teeth somewheres, right?
Right. This one was a direct-to-video release. This did not come to theaters.
I can agree with that.
But having said that, this is not the worst movie we've seen.
True.
Is it?
It's not. No, I didn't fall asleep during this one.
You didn't fall asleep during the last one either, but this is better than that movie probably, huh?
Yeah, I was discussing this with our friend Russell and saying how this one I could see, and we'll probably discuss this as we discuss this movie, talk about this, is I think this could be turned into an interactive, like Rocky Horror type interactive event.
If for nothing else but the closing credits, right?
Yeah, take the questions at the end of the movie during the closing questions and have them on hand as you're watching this movie. Then you can make it interactive and a cult classic.
During the credits, there are things like, how many times was this said? Or, things like that. And just little trivia bits and or just non sequitur comments. And, that was kind of cool. It was one of the coolest parts of the movie, actually. Probably the only cool part of the movie.
Right. Yeah. Probably. As we're talking about the director, there is a little bit of trivia on him.
Ooh.
Yeah, right at the beginning of the movie, it starts out with a narration, a voice of a man telling the story of Jack Frost to his daughter. Well, the man is Michael Cooney, the director. He is voicing that part. And I remember right off the bat the Marcia Clark. She's the actress who plays the dispatcher in this film. She does the voice of the little
she's
girl.
The one that did it. That quote unquote little girl. It's the most.
It was horrible.
It's really terrible. I'm going to put some of it. I'm going to put some of it right here. Yeah. Actually, I think I will put it at the beginning of the podcast. You will have a little segment with little girl. And the director's voice talking about Jack Frost. I will put that at the beginning of the show.
Perfect. And then they can understand. They can say, yeah, we agree that voice actress that did that was horrible.
It's not just creepy. It's just bad. Mm-hmm. And you think, oh, come on, folks. You could do better than that, right?
Yeah, it was just bad.
Then again,
unless he did it on purpose.
Then again, her character in general, we'll talk a little bit about it when we get to her. Right. She kind of has a way about her in this movie that is intentionally grating, I guess, is how you would say it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anyway. So
also,
go ahead.
Michael Cooney, the writer/director, he did both for this. He drew all the storyboards for this film.
They had storyboards?
Yes, believe it or not. The film's production was heavily delayed due to issues with financing.
Mm-hmm. I can't imagine why.
And Michael Cooney, he got the idea for this story back in 1989 when he stayed with his friends one time in a cabin up at Big Bear.
Oh, at Big Bear. Okay.
Yeah. And that was actually where the film was shot also. They built a snowman in the backyard at that time that looked kind of spooky. So that's where, and one of the friends that was staying with them, the next morning she told him that she couldn't sleep because of the spooky looking snowman right outside her window. So then they started talking about making a movie about a killer snowman. So, dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
This is it.
One of the things that I do at work is paint things on the windows coming into the children's department at the library. And I had designs on a couple different years where I just had snowmen doing all kinds of different things. And one of the designs I had for it were two snowmen standing next to each other, and one had ripped the head off of the other one. I never put that up on the window, but I have that design on a sheet of paper, and it reminds me of this movie.
Yeah, why would you do that in a children's department? I guess you could frame it as, it's not that the snowman's head got torn off. They had yet to put the snowman's head on. I mean, that is the last thing you put on when you're building a snowman is the head.
Oh, but I had such a satisfied grin on the one that was holding the other one's head.
Oh, I see.
I was so satisfied. It was so cute.
With a red scarf signifying blood dripping from the
I did have snow dripping off of it, but yeah. Well, anyway.
Traumatize the kids.
I didn't do it. I wanted to, but I didn't do it.
The same.
Yeah.
Mr. Eric, you've gone off the deep end.
Mr. Eric, that's gross.
Why? I had nightmares coming to the library.
Stranger danger. Don't let the man talk to me. As you mentioned, this was filmed on Big Bear Lake. This is in California, like northeast of San Bernardino. Fawnskin, California. Yeah, so there you go. That's why there's no snow in that town.
Yeah.
Which is perfect for a movie featuring snowmen.
Exactly. And this movie also was shot in the winter, so it was shot in the winter.
Yeah.
During a drought year, so there definitely was no snow on the ground, and at times the temperature was as high as 70 degrees.
Yeah.
So they used foam and cotton swabs as substitutes, and you could tell.
Some of the snowmen that they had, the quote-unquote snowmen, they look like they're made out of coconut. It was just really terrible. Like they had pasted a bunch of coconut on the outside of something.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad. Although there were parts where I thought they had added a bunch of fake crap to actual snow, so I don't know. But if it was up to 70 degrees, there was no snow out there.
Yeah. And this gives you a clue of why it was so bad. This whole movie was shot in 18 days.
18? Oh, really? Okay, there
18 days.
Definitely wasn't any snow then. That's funny.
And their budget, their money, the budget for this film was so poor. Originally they were going to do a regular opening title sequence for the film, but they couldn't afford it. So instead they did the filmed Christmas ornaments and put the titles on them.
Yeah, they just panned slowly over close-up ornaments while the quote-unquote little girl and the director talked about Jack Frost.
Yeah, and that's all they could afford for that.
Yep. Okay, the credits say it was made in 96, released in 97. 96 was the year we moved here.
Yeah.
And 97 was the year we moved into the house we are in now.
Wow.
So we can date stamp this we know exactly when this was. And it actually made it a little more enjoyable for me because I was, envisioning what we were doing at that time. So, there you go.
What were you, our listeners, doing at that time?
That's right. Where were you in 1996 and 97?
Yeah.
Some of you are barely alive, probably. So what's this movie about? Well, this is what it's about. I just love these IMDb descriptions that people write, these synopses. After an accident that left murderer Jack Frost dead in genetic material. Dead in genetic material?
Yeah, it's okay.
The vengeful killer returns as a murderous snowman. That's easy for me to say. A murderous snowman to exact his revenge on the man who sent him to be executed. Well, he arrested him, and that would have been the sheriff.
To build a snowman?
That's right. He has a beef against the sheriff, and he's a really bad man who is a serial killer.
Yeah, because the sheriff was the one that stopped his
that's right. He did.
Serial killing spree.
Yeah, that's right.
Golly, get you and yours.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna get you and yours. Which I was going to capture several of those moments. I wrote my notes as he made these pronouncements and whatnot. And when I went back to capture the clips, most of them you can hardly hear them, and there's loud music over the top of it and all of this, and it just wasn't worth it. It
Oh, to
wasn't
try and
worth it.
battle that background noise.
So you're going to hear very few of his one-liners because they were delivered poorly and in a bad mix, and it's just not necessary because they really weren't funny.
So they're going to have to watch the movie to
Watch
know
the
what we're
movie.
talking about.
You have to before Christmas.
Have to.
And I know when we are releasing this, so you have no time. I realize that.
And watch it with small children.
And please watch it with all your small children.
It's a Christmas story. Not.
Yes, God blesses everyone. So, who in the world starred in this thing? Were there stars, or was there just a cast?
Or just people running amok?
Yeah. Okay, let's go through them. First of all, we have Scott McDonald, who played Jack Frost.
Old MacDonald had a farm.
So did he do the voice for Jack Frost as well, or was that someone else? Was that the director too?
Good. Yeah, good question.
Because as himself, as Scott McDonald, he wasn't in the film very much, just like right at the beginning and a few interstitials during. Other than that, it was just a fake-o-looking snowman with a voice.
Did you know that Scott McDonald graduated from a small town of Libby in northwestern Montana?
Oh, Libby. Oh, he's from Libby.
Yeah, Libby. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I didn't
Libby,
know. I didn't know
Montana.
that. We know where that's at. We've never been there, but we know where it's
Yeah,
at.
we know where it's at. He's a devoted fly fisherman and likes to go back to Big Sky Country whenever he can.
Of course he does. Does he do terrible one-liners that are not funny at all?
Exactly.
All the time?
Yeah,
Because
all the
that's
time.
what he did in this movie. They tried to do that, and it didn't work very well.
No.
No, I didn't know that. And he's still alive, right? As far as you know, with the new IMDb.
As far as I know, yeah.
Okay.
So he performed in Hamlet.
Of course he did.
And he did Bullwinkle the Moose.
That tells you what you need to know. Known for Hamlet and Bullwinkle.
Yeah. He guest starred. He guest starred on all 4 of the modern Star Trek series.
I do recognize him, honestly, from... Yep, he has been in Star Trek. I know him.
He was the lovely Hilda wearing a dress in the Bud Light Ladies campaign. There's a claim to fame.
Where were you during the Hilda campaign for Bud Light?
Hilda.
Do you remember that? No.
No.
Says everyone. Oh, that's funny. Anything else on him?
No.
Okay, fine.
I mean, there is, but that's the funniest stuff, I think.
Oh,
to
the
me.
rest of it's boring, like what he likes to eat for dinner and
Yeah.
things like that. Okay. Christopher Allport as Sam, the sheriff. Did you like him?
He was. So he was born. He was born
I'm sure he was.
June 17th, 1947 in Boston, Massachusetts, and he did die on January 25th, 2008
Oh, no.
in Wrightwood, San Bernardino, California. Guess how?
Oh, no.
In an avalanche.
What?
On Saturday morning, January 26, 2008, the body of a 60-year-old actor and skiing enthusiast was found after he and 2 other persons were reported missing the day before a trio of avalanches which swept off-trail canyons in the San Gabriel Mountains at the Mountain High Ski Resort northeast of Los Angeles.
Oh, my God. So he's at Mountain High.
Yeah, the avalanches on Friday, which are freak occurrences, killed Michael Kay, an off-duty member of the Resort Ski Patrol, and Darren Bodie Coffey, 31.
So those 2 along with him.
Yep.
That's terrible.
Isn't that freaky? Yeah.
That is freaky.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do this podcast anymore now.
Now we can't pick on him.
Now we can't pick on him. He was fine, actually. I didn't have a problem with him.
No, he was, yeah.
Everyone was acting over the top in this movie. It wasn't just him.
He lived in Santa Monica, California at the time of his death.
Oh, okay. That's terrible, babe. Thank you for that trivia.
That uplifting, yeah.
Let's talk about Stephen Mendel, or Mendel, however you say his name. I'm going to say Mendel. Agent Manners.
Did he have manners?
I'm wondering, because he was an agent, I'm wondering if he was named after Kim Manners, who was an X-Files director. He did a lot of the best X-Files episodes.
Well, when was... Oh, okay. Yeah, good question.
Yeah, X-Files would have been in full...
That's not his real name. That's his character
Yeah,
name.
it's a character. I wonder if the character was named after Kim Manners.
Stephen Mendel?
Yes.
He began singing at the age of 8.
Did he really? Was he speaking before that?
He was born January 26, 1953, in Montreal, Quebec, Canada.
Please tell me he didn't die in an avalanche or something. He was killed by a Yeti.
Yeah. So far, he's still alive and kicking.
There's still time. Stephen, you could be taken out by a Yeti. Just give it time.
His moniker is he's a master of accents and dialects.
Is he really now?
He performs voice work and animation narration, video games, audiobooks, radio, and television commercials.
Mostly what he did in this film was make fun of people for being small town yokels. So
yeah.
And barked a lot at the sheriff.
You better do this, you better do that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, he had classic lines like this one.
Well, bravo, Sheriff. I hope this isn't a taste of what I can expect from this town under your direction.
See, someone like me already has clips, and I know I have one of him.
Of that one.
So there you go. Let's see here. F. William Parker. I don't even know if I'm doing these in IMDb order, am I? F. William Parker played Davro, the store owner, where everything is 20% off, by the way.
He's always trying to get people to get into his store.
It's a running gag. He's offering everybody 20% off on things.
20% off.
I mean, he was fine. He played shopkeeper number 5, and he kind of goes nuts at one point in the film.
Yeah, he does. He was in Revenge of the Nerds.
Of course he was. Lots of people were. There's a movie that holds up well. Not. Let's see. Eileen Seeley plays Anne, who I guess was a sheriff's wife. Is that who that was? I guess that's who that was. I think so. If so, they had problems. If so, they had questionable problems with their pipes at one point.
Yeah, I think it was his wife.
Yeah, I think so.
The sheriff's wife.
She hardly had anything to do in this movie, so.
She was born December 23rd, 1959, and is known for Batman Forever.
What? Who did she play in Batman Forever?
No, IMDb doesn't say.
Okay, fine.
She was in Batman Forever, Star Trek The Next Generation.
She was a TNG one? I have to look at her again now.
Yeah.
She was a colonist in the Next Generation episode, Ensigns of Command. She fell in love with Data. Like I did.
I don't even remember what she looks like, babe.
Oh, no.
Go back and look at the sheriff's wife, Anne. She's fantastic. She's wonderful in this movie, and she's on Star Trek, too. So give her all the credit in the world. Rob LaBelle plays Stone. That's the mad scientist, by the way. And one of the only faces I recognized in this movie. Do you have trivia?
Recognized him?
Mm-hmm. Yep, yeah. I know him. Just by look. I mean, I can't say, oh, yeah, he was in this classic role. Look up Rob LaBelle and you'll know exactly what I mean.
Rob LaBelle, born August 2nd, 1962 in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Oh, no. They have bad weather and stuff up there, too. Is he okay?
He was known for The Watchmen.
Of course. See, look, he's been in other better movies.
And The Man in the High Castle.
Ooh, television series, of which I have not watched.
There's not a whole lot of... Yeah, he's one of 7 actors that appeared in both Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, and Smallville.
He's been in quite a few things. I'm going to mention Zach Edgerton because he played Ryan, which is the son of the sheriff, and the one and only reason that I am mentioning him is for his 90s hair. If you want to have 90s hair, that's the kind that you need right there.
Then look at his Zach's.
Yep.
So he was born August 28, 1986 in Pasadena, California. He was actually in The Iron Giant.
So he had a voice role in Iron Giant.
Yeah.
Was he the kid? Was he the kid in Iron Giant?
No. He is credited as extra voices.
have the computer interject this information because now our listeners want to know.
Oh, please tell me he doesn't like winter sports and is gone now.
No, there's not a whole lot of information on him.
Oh, thank goodness. Shannon Elizabeth plays Jill Metzner, which is the daughter of Jake the Jerk Metzner in this movie.
Yeah.
I jumped over him. That's okay. I'll do Shannon because she's one that the internet does. That's easy for me to say. Do know is Shannon Elizabeth. And she's known for poker playing. I think she's a poker player.
She knows how to dance the polka.
Poker.
She was born in Houston, Texas.
She had a questionable role in this film. She had to do things like not react to her brother's death and be raped by a snowman in a bathtub.
And I think the trivia on her has something to do with, this nude scene and how this was before her. Let me find it real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the rape scene in the first film, it wasn't originally intended to be this. It was meant just to be Jack Frost smashing Jill into the wall until she died. But when the movie got into the editing phase, the editor told the director, you know what this looks like, don't you?
The funny thing is, while we were watching the film, I was just thinking he was smashing her head very badly against the wall.
Yeah.
That's what I thought was going on. But now in thinking about it later, I thought, I know what he was doing. That was terrible. And And
it wasn't what they were doing on purpose. It was just during editing because due to the shot of after he banged his head against the wall, they then went to a shot of the carrot floating on the surface of the...
Yeah, right.
Well, that was actually earlier before he solidified and killed her. So that kind of alluded to the rape scene.
I will say it's only obvious if you think of that as you're watching the scene. Because it didn't, I thought he was just smacking her against the wall. Mm-hmm. But, now that I think about it, she was like halfway melted through him too. So
that bathtub scene was filmed towards the end of the shooting. And it was the most complicated one to shoot. They shot that all in one day.
I'm sure they did.
The bathtub was built on a raised set.
Yeah.
And for the shot where Jack rises out of the tub, the stunt coordinator was in the snowman costume, and Shannon Elizabeth, they were strapped together on a scissor lift that raised them 12 feet up in the air through the fake tub.
What the heck? 12 feet in the air?
Yeah. It said the scissor lift took forever to work, but they got it working, got the shot. While shooting the part where Jack hits her head against the wall, the snowman's carrot nose hit Shannon in her eye.
Oh, no.
And the medics were called in. They had to put salt water in her eye. But other than that, she did fine.
Wow. Shannon, it was not worth it. It wasn't. It really wasn't.
This was her first acting role and her first nude scene.
Oh, wow. There's a whammy, right?
She filmed this before she got her breast implants, and she reveals those in American Pie.
Oh, of course she does. She didn't have implants in this, although she wasn't really fully nude. It was like she was up against the snowman. I don't remember. Does she have full nudity? I can't remember.
No. I don't remember having full nudity.
No, I don't either. Okay, we're going to move on. We have Jack Lindeen as Jake the Jerk Metzner, her dad. He was a real nice guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, real nice.
Yeah, he got his, so it doesn't matter. He mostly was just your jerky dad. Very controlling of his family. Very controlling of his family.
Definitely a dictator.
Yeah, that's right. He's a dick, all right.
He was a dictator.
Yeah. He was more of a dick than a tater.
His poor wife, she just was so downtrodden that she lived in a world of her own.
She got hers too, unfortunately, and she didn't deserve it.
No, she didn't deserve it.
She seemed to be a little confused.
Yeah, like I said, I think she lived in a world of her own, trying to escape reality.
Yeah. Marcia Clark is the last one I have on my list, although I know there are more, including the wife of Jake the Jerk.
Can I talk
Can I talk like a little kid?
I want a story, please.
All right.
She played Marla, who's the dispatcher at the sheriff's station. And she had knockoff Adrienne Barbeau hair. Early 80s Adrienne Barbeau hair. And I swear that they were trying to do that. It looked so much like it. And it seemed like she was trying to be her. And guess what? She's not.
She's not.
She's not
a good actress. I'm sorry.
She's constantly spraying hairspray on her hair at the beginning of this movie through part of it. And I thought that was going to come back later, like her hair would catch on fire or something. But nope, it didn't. Not that I remember. Let's see. Anyone else we want to talk about?
One actor who read for the role of Jack Frost as he was auditioning for the role of Jack Frost actually pulled a knife.
Did he really?
His audition. Oh.
So he didn't grab a carrot and hold it down in front of his crotch and go, yeah. Get it. He didn't do that, huh?
No.
Oh, no, I can't imagine that. And he didn't get the role. I wonder why.
They probably thought he was a little bit too...
I don't know.
Yeah. I think that's the main character.
Let's call it good there. Let's just call it good there. So now I promised Valerie I wouldn't just go through the movie.
And tell you guys what you're going to see.
Because we can't wait for you to watch this yourself. So we just have random thoughts. I do have something from the beginning of the movie, though.
Oh, cool.
That I want to talk about. Okay, you have the bad guy being transported in this vehicle, right? That's, can't even remember what they called it. Anyway, they're transporting this maniac before he becomes, what did they call it? Material? What does before he became genetic material?
GMO. Genetically modified.
Anyway, they're transporting him, and there's dialogue between the guy who's driving and the passenger. And they're sitting about 2 inches apart. The passenger's all the way over on the driver's side, almost sitting on his lap. And you have snow all over the windshield, and the windshield's not being cleared much. And he's reaching up and rubbing the windshield as if he's trying to get the snow off from the inside.
Exactly.
And that tells you all you need to know about this movie
and
right
where
there.
It goes from there.
What the heck were they doing? I mean, they just needed them both in the shot, and they didn't have but they were in a car. They could, I don't know.
With one windshield wiper. It was like the... one windshield wiper hanging from the center, from the top, and it just cleaned this one small section of windshield.
Well, they were very up close and personal with one another.
Yeah, they were.
During that scene. So the killer, quote unquote, dies, and then his spirit goes into a snowman, or becomes a snowman, and it goes to the small town where the sheriff that put him behind bars lives, and madness ensues right there in Snowmonton County.
Snowmonton.
The Snowmanton County.
Yeah.
County. With the sheriff who has a family, which has a son and wife. That's it. That's his whole family.
Yeah.
Son with the perfect hair. So there you go. And that's what happens. And the snowman slowly kills off people.
Did you know?
No.
That this movie was chosen to be part of the famous German series that's, I'm not going to try to say it. It is SCHLEFAZ series.
Does that mean shitty movie in German?
Yeah, it is. It's the German abbreviation meaning the worst films ever.
There you go. Oh. We've seen far worse than this.
Oh yeah.
We have. This movie is dumb. It is bad. But it ain't the worst that we've ever seen.
Riff Tracks, the people who do Mystery Science Theater 3000, actually released a version with their audio commentary making fun of this as you watch it.
And I've never watched that because this is the first time I've seen this movie. I've known about it, but it's the first time I've seen it. It was a direct-to-video release by I already said that, didn't I? I'm saying it again now, and we're not surprised. They did have a fake old dead man that was in a rocking chair or just a chair outside they were very, very proud of.
They spent so much time showing that.
We had entire scenes.
Beheading.
Yep, we had just entire scenes of dialogue with them standing behind this dead dude. while he was in the background, in the foreground, I should say, with his head bent over the back of the chair, and looked bad. I mean, it looked like a fake head, but they were very proud of it because they showed it over and over and over again.
Exactly.
There you go.
So this film was originally shot in January of 1994 and sat on a shelf until 1997.
Wow.
And when Prism Entertainment was set to finance the film, but they went bankrupt during the pre-production.
Uh-huh.
So when the Prism banker was overseeing the film, when he saw the final cut, he thought it was so ridiculous, he decided it was unsellable, so he shelved it.
Oh.
And then 3 years later, a guy at Apex Entertainment saw the film, convinced Apex to buy it.
Okay.
And they bought the film for $50,000 and released it in VHS at first.
I wonder how much this has produced over the years in profit. I don't know.
If they made back their $50,000.
They must have. I don't know. That's funny because the credits have a 1996 on the credits.
Yeah, interesting.
At the end. So who knows?
Yeah,
I don't know.
who knows?
We've now spent far more on this production than the production deserves. We've spent more on this production than they did at this point. They have a snowman competition in this town, and that is the perfect town for it because it is, like we said, it is so very obvious that there is no snow at all. The snowmen are all fake, obvious. And they're sitting on bare ground, and they just did some of that. You know that bad spray? It's not even, it's just almost like white spray paint that people have that have fake snow.
Yeah, that they put on their windows
to
try and
like
do the
window
fake
spray.
snow scenes. Yeah.
Yep, it's like window spray. That's what they have. But I swear there are some sections that look like it's real snow, just a little bit of it. So they did a better job on some of it than others, I guess. But it's pretty bad. Yeah, and it's obvious they're in, and everyone's dressed up like it's winter. Can you imagine what that's like? 74 degrees and you're all bundled up.
All bundled up like it's winter.
With the best wind noise ever that just goes all the time in the soundtrack.
Oh, that was so irritating, wasn't it?
And
sometimes so loud that you couldn't even hear the dialogue.
Right, with random animal noise, just all of these. There's at one point there's just this hawk cry that's out of nowhere. While the kid is making a snowman as he's building Jack Frost. Yeah, there's just there's just like a that was a caw. I'm sorry. I didn't do an eagle screech. It sounded like this. Yeah, and the wind blew. It was distracting. It wasn't super loud, but it was so obvious on the screen that there was no wind. They didn't even put a fan on anyone or anything to show that there was wind. It was dead.
Yeah.
On screen, and you have this wind going in the background. Which is pretty funny.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they felt, unless they thought it was scary.
So what did you think of the deaths in this movie? Did you have a favorite death?
Deaths. It was one of those ones that probably should be done on kill count because they did do a lot of, there were a lot of deaths. But what was my... I don't know if I have a favorite. They were all just as equally horrible.
Yeah, they were pretty bad. I think the Christmas lights around the neck, which was the dorky dad, the terrible dad's wife.
The dictator's
wife. Dick's dad. Dick's wife, I should say, not
wife,
Dick's dad.
Yeah, and that was sad. Because she didn't deserve to. No.
She was just choked out with a string of Christmas lights, and that wouldn't work very well. But he got an axe handle down the throat, which was... I thought that Jack Frost was going to axe him in the head, but no, he went one better, and he shoved the whole handle down his neck.
Which a pathologist later, as he's doing the autopsy, describes the damage that it did.
It was so funny. And it was... And even that they couldn't do right, because he was laying down on the ground when they find him, right? With this axe handle sticking out of his mouth. But if you think about it, the handle would have had to have been through the back of his neck and into the ground, the way that he was laying there.
The angle that they had shot
and that's not what happened. He shoved it down his throat.
Right. One of the scenes was the ultimate murder weapon. He got one of the young man got just before he was going to lose his virginity.
Oh, that always happens.
It's like, oh man, he gets iced. Iced. He gets killed with an icicle. All of a sudden, Jack Frost can shoot.
Yeah, he can fire icicles all of a sudden. It's like, where the hell did that come from halfway through the movie?
Exactly. That was hilarious.
That was hilarious. Yeah, that was pretty funny. I think that the brother, Jill's brother, who's a jerk, he's just a bully. And he bullies Alex, the sheriff's kid, with the cool hair, as he's making the snowman that ends up being Jack Frost. He bullies him at that point, and the kid's like, I wish you would, get hurt, or I wish you'd die, or something stupid like that. And Jack Frost does it. He ends up doesn't something back over his neck? Isn't it a car or something?
Yeah. I remember a vehicle,
It was a vehicle.
Do sleds count as vehicles? It was a sled. Like in winter.
And it chops his head off cleanly.
Yep.
Yeah. So Jill's brother is dead. He has been beheaded on that very same day, right?
Yeah.
And it's that night. And what does she want to do? She wants to go get laid. She wants to go out with her boyfriend and get laid. Yeah. Of course she is, because that's what you do when your brother's just lost
grieving.
his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way,
She wants to forget. Yeah.
Babe, not everyone grieves in the same way.
Exactly.
Some of us handle it differently.
She needs to take her mind off of things.
Some of us cry. Some of us get horny. That's just the way it is. Exactly how many deaths does it take before you alert the town is what I'm wondering. The sheriff does the Jaws thing where, where the mayor of the town doesn't want anyone to know because it'll cut down on their tourists coming to town. Mm-hmm. They don't have tourists, but he doesn't want anyone to be worried. So they have like multiple deaths. And then, once they find out, then they all freak out, of course. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's just like, okay, I understand. We've had 3 deaths, but everybody just calm down and go home.
Yeah.
Like, hell no.
And then the company comes.
Mm-hmm. And and there's a scientist, the guy that I was talking about earlier, the one that I knew from this movie. He created Jack Frost, but they don't go into details on how that worked. He made it possible for him to put his life force into the snowman. But how did that happen?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Like I said, I know it wasn't.
Because he was he was trying to keep them from killing him because he wanted to study it. And he was the reason that he was able to do it. But I don't know what he had done. I don't know what the experiments were that he did to make that happen.
See, in my memory of this movie is like there were 2 separate. So first there was the company, the scientists that created the genetic material that converted.
He came into town with the.
And then
other
there
guy.
was the scientist in the. Am I thinking of the wrong movie?
I think so. There was
thinking
only
of the
one.
brain. I'm thinking of the scientist.
Yeah,
in the
there
brain.
was only one.
I'm getting the 2 horror.
They couldn't afford more than one scientist.
No, that's true. I was thinking of the brain, but no, you're right. Yeah, the scientists that did the genetic. They really didn't, flesh that out.
I knew he was the scientist because he had that Ghostbusters scanner thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he didn't want Jack Frost to be killed. He just wanted him captured because he wanted to study, because he too didn't understand how it occurred and he wanted to study it.
Yeah, and he ran around with the Agent Manners, who said things like, okay, there was that one scene where he's like, well, why don't you go home and darn a quilt or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, where did that come from? Yeah.
I would appreciate it if all you people would get off the streets. Go darn a quilt or something.
There was a line that the sheriff said to him, too. He's like, oh, man, what was it he said to him? Oh, the agent came up and made a quip to the sheriff, said, what are you doing, or something like that. And the sheriff made some comment like, oh, we're just getting ready for a tractor pull, of course, something,
Yeah, something.
Some stupid,
small town.
of course, a small town stuff.
Am I missing something?
Oh, no, nothing at all, Agent Manners. We're just having some small town gossip here about some tractor pulls and a barn raising.
Right.
I'll put that here too. But there was a deputy, which I should have called him out in the cast credits. He was the funniest one in this movie.
Oh gosh, yeah.
He had several one-liners and reactions to things that were pretty dark. They were actually the funniest part of the movie.
And he delivered them deadpan.
Yeah,
So it was,
he did it deadpan.
really good.
Yeah, right. The one time he was like, well, probably not your wife or something like that, he had said to the
exactly.
in response to a certain thing that you'll have to watch yourself because I won't put that clip in here. I was bothered by the drain, babe. I'm sorry. I have to apologize. I was bothered by a drain in this movie.
You were bothered by a drain.
I know. Okay, let me explain. I have to explain myself. This is in the sheriff's house. They have water issues. They have water spraying from underneath the sink at one point. Okay.
Oh, right. Okay.
And a guy comes in to look at it, and he opens up, and it's spraying out of a drain line. It's not an input.
Yeah, it's spraying. Spraying out of that crook that you.
Yeah.
The hair trap.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's spraying out like it's under pressure. And I said, "There's your problem. Your drain is hooked to your supply line."
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I figured it out. It has nothing to do with the snowman. It's just spraying.
Yeah, that probably got all kinds of any plumbers watching this movie with that doesn't happen.
Oh man, you never want to get the plumbers upset.
It's like what I do during medical scenes. I was like,
right.
What?
That's not how that works.
You got the IV tubing upside down. Yeah.
Speaking of daughter Jill, who couldn't wait to go have sex with her boyfriend on the same night that her brother lost his head, that scene where they're getting undressed is really long and really funny to me. It is terrible.
Oh, it is. It's terrible.
And then she goes off to use a hair dryer for whatever reason. She's drying her hair for like 5 minutes of the movie. She's drying her hair while her boyfriend's being killed, right?
Yep.
While he's being killed. When she gets done blow drying her hair for 5 minutes, she runs a bath.
Yeah.
And gets into a bath and gets her hair wet.
I know. It's like, what the heck? Yeah, I'm not sure.
What?
Just to set up the scene so she could take a bath with a snowman?
Yeah, well, honestly, if you have a chance to take a bath with a snowman, it doesn't matter if you just blew dry your hair. Right?
Right. You're just
come on.
Yeah.
Anyway, it didn't make sense. Some things made sense less than others in an entire movie that didn't make any sense.
Right. Like I said, the only way to really is to, if we were to ever watch this again, would be to take those end credit questions and play along. But other than that, I can't see where you would ever want to watch this movie again.
Now, I caught an obvious ode to John Carpenter's The Thing.
Oh, yeah, you did.
I did. At one point, a character says, "You gotta be shitting me." So here's the one from the movie.
You gotta be shitting me.
Come on, run!
And here's the one from The Thing.
You gotta be f***ing kidding.
I mean, if you're going to do odes to something, The Thing is a perfect one.
Yeah, very true.
I did learn one thing from this movie, babe.
What's that? You learned something?
I did. The more you know. Now I have to put that in here. Nothing says Christmas more than a window display of antifreeze.
Yeah.
An entire display in a window.
Now that's something too that got me. So they learned that antifreeze can hurt Jack Frost,
right.
And they learned this by the fact that the sheriff's son,
he's a killer.
Son, is a killer too. Yeah, because he was old enough to know better.
Of course he was.
He made oatmeal for his dad to take to work with him that day because he knows dad is busy and doesn't get. And what's he put in the oatmeal but antifreeze?
Yeah.
Why?
Antifreeze in the oatmeals because he didn't want it to get cold.
He didn't want his. And this boy, the son, is old enough to know better.
Of course he is. Yes.
Yeah, so you.
It was the stupidest thing ever.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, and it was a kind of a running joke that Dad had this oatmeal in a bag. He had it in a baggie.
Oatmeal in a baggie. Yeah,
and if
that he never did eat.
No, and if he had, he would have died. So there you go.
Crazy. But
So
how did
stupid.
he end up? It doesn't matter, but I know he ends up throwing that oatmeal and that's where they learned that the antifreeze hurts him. So then,
Go
then
ahead.
comes your window full of antifreeze.
And thank God, because they need to fill the bed of a truck with it.
Yeah, fortunately, they did put in a tarp, so they put in a tarp in the back of the truck, filled it with antifreeze. And that whole scene where he's being chased and jumps out the window and snowman follows him and they fall into the back of the...
Right, fall into the antifreeze, yeah.
That was all done on one shot.
Of course it was. They didn't have any budget.
That was all done in one shot.
All I could think was it was a shopkeeper who filled up the back of that truck, which had far more than would have been in that display, by the way. But did he sell that to them for 20% off?
20% off, yeah.
I'm just curious who paid for all of that. He did line the back of the truck. I thought he had just poured it into the back. I thought that's not going to work.
No, he did line it with plastic.
Yeah, he put a plastic liner in it because that is the kind of detail that this wonderful movie goes to keep things realistic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, then the snowman is it falls into the truck through the window, right? And and it's melting and everything. And then how did the kid get in there? I can't remember. Did the kid fall in there too with the snowman? Alex, did he fall?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how the kid.
All I was thinking that whole time is the kid went head under and everything, and I thought, "Ooh, don't drink that! Don't drink! Don't drink that!" He dunks him. The dad he reaches over, and I don't know if he was grabbing for him or what, and he dunks him under for whatever reason. I don't think he was trying to, but that's just how it... Well, because they did it in one take, that's why. And I kept thinking, yeah, dunk your kid. Do it again.
Do it again.
But he didn't. And just like that, it was over. And then
they did show. They did show.
Oh, no, they did. You're right.
As they were burying the antifreeze.
I forgot. They did. Never mind. I'm wrong.
Yeah. So they collected the antifreeze, put it into plastic bottles, and
that's right. And then they buried all that.
Buried it. And there's a scene that shows that there's a potential for a sequel. And we won't spoil it for you. Yeah, you've got to watch the movie.
No, but there was a sequel, so there you go. And guess what? We will not watch that one.
We will not watch it.
Yeah, we're not going to do that.
Because it'd even get worse ratings than this one. This one still holds a whopping, I think, what is it, 4.6 out of 10 on...
It has earned all 4 of those. It has. And then they have various quotes and questions in the end credits, like I was talking about. And yeah, those are more interesting than the movie. So go watch the end credits and see if you can answer them.
Yeah, watch the end credits first. Get the questions, because we did not make a list of them, did we?
Nope, I did not. Nope.
Yeah. Look at the end credits first, then watch the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody gave us that tip, so we're giving you that tip.
So what did you think of it? That's what you think of it. 4 point something. That's what you think. And that's what everyone thinks. So I'm trying to think kill count, because you mentioned kill count. I think that James A. Janice, the host of that, co-host of that. Well, he's host of that one, co-host of the podcast, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I know that he's been asked over and over to do that movie, and I can't remember if he finally did it. If so, I've not watched that one, so I may have to watch that and get the real scoop on this movie.
So here's a couple of quotable quotes. So here's one that the deputy says. When they walk into the house of the couple that was killed, the dictator and his wife. Well, of course, no one calls the cops, but somehow they just show up at that house anyways.
Of course they do.
Yeah. And the deputy says, when he sees her, wrapped up in Christmas, killed with Christmas lights, he says, "You don't reckon that we keep her up for the 12 days of Christmas then?"
You don't reckon we should leave her up for the 12 days of Christmas then?
That's right, he did. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
See, those are funny. The things that Jack say, not funny.
No, Jack. So
none
Jack,
of them were funny.
Where he got the hairdryer. Anyways, when he got melted, and they thought they'd done him in, but he didn't. He came back, but kind of all discombobulated. So Jack Frost says, "Look, Ma, I'm a Picasso."
Yeah, he did. Yeah. That was the scene where they had the Thing reference, because he was all messed up, and
that's right.
They saw him just like the Thing in the movie The Thing at that point when they are in the infirmary in that movie. It's like they said, you got to be shitting me. That's why they did it.
Yeah. And after he killed the guy with the, shoving the axe handle down his throat, Jack Frost says, "Gosh, I only axed you for a smoke."
And I did clip that, and here it is.
Gosh, I only axed you for a smoke.
See, wasn't that cool?
Wasn't that cool?
He was the best snowman ever. The best.
And of course, there's a time where Jack's head is knocked off of his body, his snowman body, and it's flying through the air. And Jack Frost says, "I can see your house from up here." So yeah, Jack Frost's lines are not funny, but now the deputy, and here you've got the two deputies talking at one time together. And I think this is one that you were possibly referencing. The one deputy said, "What's eating him?" He said, I can't cuss because there's a cuss word. "What the blank's eating him?" And the other deputy says, I bet you it ain't his girlfriend."
Yeah. There you go.
Ba-dum-chum.
That's the one that I didn't say earlier. There you go. Now you got it. There. Now you've seen now you've heard about Jack Frost. And go see it.
Have we tempted you? Have we
taunted you? Have we taunted you?
Has it been tantalizing? Do you want to see this?
Go see Jack Frost. I dare you. We're taunting you. Yeah. Bet you can't see Jack Frost.
Do you want to hear the line that he says to Jill after he kills her in the bathtub?
Oh, I can't remember. What was it?
It was horrible.
Should you be saying it?
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah,
okay.
You'll have to watch the movie for that one. It was horrible.
Go watch that. It was the worst, most disgusting, nastiest line in film
it's probably
history.
No worse than what I
ever
said earlier, but I can't give everything away.
Go watch it. It made it X-rated. It made it triple X-rated. I'm sure
it was mature.
Yeah, it was mature.
Mature rated.
It was rated mature. It wasn't mature. Most definitely not.
It was rated mature, but it was not mature. Very juvenile.
All right. If you would like to share your thoughts on Jack Frost or Frost Jack or nipping noses or roasting on open fires, you may write to us, cavebabble@gmail.com. Or head on over to cavebabble.com, see a list of our episodes, various blog posts over there. You may join our Facebook group, Cavebabble Podcast. Just ask to join and we will accept you. We are very accepting. You may also subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Cavebabble Podcast. And if you like what you hear, give us a review. That would really help us. We would like that. And that's about it. Anything else here at the end?
If you, let's see, how long was this movie? If you want to waste an hour and a half of your time.
It is not wasting your time. It's not.
Rude, crude entertainment. No. Yeah. Now we've seen worse. We've seen better.
Yeah. If you're into bad movies, ones that are just, it's not one of those painfully bad, we're trying so hard to be a dumb movie that, this is one that you can actually kind of sort of enjoy from a distance if you squint your eyes just right and look through your fingers. That's how that works, right? That's this movie. So squint your eyes, turn to the side, and you'll enjoy it. All right, everyone. Thanks for all the downloads and listens. And until next time, we're out of here.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Cavebabble.
Sam, you okay?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm great, Paul.
15 years, blowing the doors off the competition. Podcasting to planet Earth.
PNRnetworks.com